in history. The Pride have never reached the quarter-finals before, and they've never defeated a top-tier side in this competition. With Arsenal already being denied one shot at silverware by Manchester City 3 days ago, can they bounce back to avoid a second cup set this week? So let's take a look at the teams then, starting with Arsenal. And Renee Slagers takes the opportunity to rotate this afternoon and hands January recruits Jenna Nyswanger her Arsenal debut. The Olympic champion is one of 6 changes from Thursday's defeat to City. Zinsberger, Kadina and Reid come into defence, and having featured from the bench in midweek, Ford and McCabe are both chosen to start. Kim Little misses out with a hand injury. Chloe Kelly is cup-tied and made to wait another week for her debut. For London City, well, a change in competition means a change in system. They're expected to go 5 at the back with Arsenal Academy products, Grace Neville and Taya Goldie tasked with keeping the Gunners at bay. The trio of Sako Kumagai, Kosvari Aslani and Sophia Jakobsen boast an incredible 450 international caps between them. Isabel Goodwin has 3 goals in her last 4 games, but she is yet to score against a WSL team for London City Lionesses. So, FA Cup match number 2 for Renee Slagers, but as a player, she was a 2-time Swedish Cup winner with Linköping, alongside Stina Blackstenius, who's on the Arsenal bench this afternoon. Jocelyn Playshort took over in the summer, but has good pedigree in National Cup competitions as well. The London City Lionesses boss lifted 1 in China and led PSG to the Coupe de France last season. So then a big test for both sides this afternoon. Arsenal, of course, need a response to bounce back from the disappointment of Thursday and keep their hopes of silverware alive this season. London City Lionesses are hoping to take another huge stride forward in their club's history by reaching a very first FA Cup quarter-final. Aslani over the top for Jakobsen. And immediately the offside flag is shown. 2 captains today. Katie McCabe making her first start since being shown red against Chelsea last month. She was part of the squad the last time Arsenal lifted this trophy 9 years ago. Back then, Kosvari Aslani was playing for Manchester City. She won the WSL and League Cup double, but lost the FA Cup semi-final to the eventual runners-up Chelsea. Here's Katie Reid bundling her way through on this right-hand side. She did play it right back in the previous rounds. It's Caitlin Ford playing just ahead of her. Here is the Australia. It's an excellent reverse ball. Mornan was ready to pounce. Very quickly closed down, and it was Megan Campbell who just punted that one as far away from goal as she could. Reid Able to pick the pass for Alessia Russo, who celebrated her 26th birthday yesterday. As Lani brings down Katie McCabe. Morno. Immoran. Given away to Caldente. He's been on an excellent run of scoring form recently. And a deflected strike is kept in play by Emily Orman. Reed again, seen plenty of the ball in these early stages, the 18-year-old. She actually made her FA Cup debut against Arsenal while on loan with Watford in last season's FA Cup fourth round. It has, of course, been a tough week to be an Arsenal fan. They were prevented from reaching a third straight League Cup final, having won the previous two under Lionesses. But I guess in the bigger picture, that was just Renee Slager's second defeat in her 17 games in charge. Although each of those have come in the last 4 matches. So we're looking for a bit of a reprieve today. Here's Caldente. Good work rate by Isabel Goodwin. Does have 11 goals in all competitions this season, the London City Lionesses forward. Away by Bruin. Lani dropping deep to help out. Interesting to see the two Swedes in support of Isabel Goodwin in the London City Lionesses attack. Plenty of experience backing up the youth. Cross just turning brilliantly. She is going to be brought down there for a foul. She's a player who has been growing in stature this season. Leah Belty still trying to recover her full fitness, and Kim Little missing out here and there with injuries herself. The onus has certainly fallen on Kyra Cooney-Cross to step up in that midfield position, and she's showing the type of quality that many Arsenal fans have known she's capable of. She's got some defending to do here, though. Lizzie Goodwin is quick, but that's an excellently timed sliding challenge. She'd probably be one of the first to say, Cooney-Cross, that when she arrived in North London, she wasn't probably the complete package from a defensive point of view, but it's something that she's worked on. She seems far more at home in that holding position now in midfield. Gruen back foot, Emily Orman. Immoran. Kumagai. Here's Goldie, who is currently on loan from Arsenal. Had been given permission by her parent club to play in this fixture this afternoon. Second stint away from the club following the unfortunate loan spell that she had cut short at Watford, where she ruptured her ACL. She's getting much more regular game time this season, though. Jakobsen. They want to play direct. The London City Lionesses, they know the pace that they have to exploit in behind. Neatly done by Caitlin Ford. Gaudenti. Okay, with her to her left, Gaudenti may just fancy going alone. She has won her side a corner. Positive, progressive play. The type that we have come to expect from the Spaniards. She's got 6 goals in her last 7 games. It's not just that, she links the game up so well. Such a vital cog in the way that Arsenal like to attack. In from Cooney Cross. Forward turns. It's an inviting ball too, and needed to be met by a London City Lionesses head. Okay, back in. Ruben Moyes, header was a good one. Still yet to be cleared. Will it pop up for Mornham? It's an excellent sliding challenge. Body on the line defending from the visiting side. Who may fancy their chances of springing a quick counter-attack now. It was Taya Goldie who just threw herself in front of the ball there to prevent Frida Mornham from having a 3-shotter goal. Excellent defending from the 20-year-old. Coleman couldn't do too much with that one. Kumagai. Imran with throwing on this left-hand side, the Nigeria international. Joined on a 2-year deal from Prem in October. One of, as I've mentioned, a number of international players plying their trade in the second tier of English women's football. The expectation, given how well they've started this season, is that they may well be challenging promotion. Here they come now. It's Goodwin. Cordina was well placed. They are second in the Women's Championship, London City Lionesses, just 1 point behind league leaders Birmingham, but they do have a game in hand due to the number of teams that are in the league. They do carry threats. Aslani. Cooney cross this time, back defending. Kumagai. Neville's ball in, looking for Goodwin, and the Arsenal defenders, Katie Reid, did just enough. As I mentioned, as part of their journey to get here, London City Lionesses, they did see off Gwalior United, who were formerly Cardiff City, 4-0. That was in the third round, and then in the previous round to this one, it was a 5-0 win away to Fulham, Craven Cottage. Chantal Boyhalorka, who is on the bench for them, should they require some additional firepower as this game goes on, scoring an 8-minute hat-trick in that match. While Katie Reid just gets a bit of assistance, here's the Arsenal chance from earlier on. It was Lotte Wubben-Moy's guided header, which caused a few issues in there. Alessia Russo was underneath it, but this is the moment when it looked like it was going to break for Frida Mornham. And that is really committed, brave defending by Taya Goldie. Okay, it was forced backwards by Neville, and Cordina can't keep that one in play. Goodwin. Chance to stretch her legs, but Lotte Wubben-Moy stayed with her all the way. And wins a free kick for her side too. She did well there, Lotte Wubben-Moy. Isabel Goodwin, incredibly difficult to stop once she gets going. A long, rangy stride. Very difficult to keep pace with. Imran trying to get round the outside. It's a routine stop for Manu Zinsberger, player who has found regular football harder to come by this season. Such has been the brilliant performances by Daphne von Domselaar in the Arsenal goal. Nice play by Rousseau. Forwards. Looks to be a sore one for Megan Campbell. Another experienced player in the London City Lionesses ranks. She was part of the Man City squad that won the 2020 FA Cup. An Ireland international. She actually has experience back in her home country too of winning the FAI Women's Cup. And in a back line that is mainly players in their early 20s. This will be a concern for Jocelyn Préchot. It's certainly been loud in the opening stages of this game. The London City Lionesses supporters club that you see there. And this has always been, traditionally, one of the louder WSL stadiums that opposition fans tend to come to. The Arsenal fans always turn up in their numbers. Always so creative with their chants as well. Nice Swagger. Rousseau, his hold-up play this afternoon has been good. On it goes to McCabe, who is looking for Frida Mornham on the turn. And yet again, it's Taya Goldie between her and the goal. Goodwin on the break had gone slightly too early. Gaudenti. Rousseau, occupied by Bruin. Nice one there, playing much more centrally. Does, of course, play at left back for the US national team. Should break through as a rookie at Gotham FC in central midfield. Forwards. Nice one. Audenti fancies a run. McCabe's ball. Over the heads of Caitlin Ford, and it won't be able to be kept in by Frida Morton. This time into the channel for Russo to chase. She's got Bruin with her. Goldie's scampering back too, but Russo's going to try herself, and it required a low stop from Emily Orman. Plenty of power on the strike, just a bit too close to the former Chelsea goalkeeper. Audenti teasing one in. Jacobson it was, helping out defensively, but Arsenal looking to go up through the gears here. Russo. Goodwin had stayed onside. She's given another one to chase, and Laia Codina needs good communication with Zinsberger, and the two of them do sort it out. Neville. Maslany. Now Kumagai. More sustained period of possession. London City Lionesses just trying to take the sting out of Arsenal, who did look as though they were building up a bit of momentum. Helped on by Rhoda. No foul, says referee Abigail Byrne. I think he'll be the happier manager so far, Jocelyn Préchaud. A very disciplined defensive display from his team, who have worked so hard to close down the spaces. And when they have needed to defend their 6-yard box, well, they've done so in their numbers. They've looked quite good on the counter too. Here's Jakobsen. Up against Wubben-Moy. Jakobsen! Just lacked that bit of curl at the end to the finish. And this is what London City are all about. They soak up the pressure. And then they very nearly caught Arsenal on the counter. Their best chance of the game so far, the visitors. Down to Sophia Jakobsen with more than 140 Sweden caps to her name. She's had such a distinguished career. Gaudenzi. Rode up. Just get a sense that the visitors' confidence is just starting to grow that bit more as we approach the half-hour mark. They do come into this game on the back of a 6-game winning streak in all competitions. Gaudenzi. Loose touch by the debutant, nice Wonga. Worth highlighting as well, defensively, London City Lionesses in their recent matches have been very solid. 3 consecutive clean sheets coming into today's FA Cup tie. Forwards, slipping one through, it's Russo! Well, the flag stayed down, but she was very quickly closed down. Excellent work in the build-up by Caitlin Fords. It's another heroic block. Combination of Taya Goldie and Megan Campbell. McCabe's ball. Now second chance for the captain to deliver, although she will go short for Cooney Cross. That's a great header, and Arsenal do take the lead. Laia Codina floating it perfectly over the goalkeeper and into that far corner. It's her second goal of the season. And she really took it well, didn't she? Set up by Kyra Cooney Cross. And she still had a lot to do. The angle was going against her, but she judged it to perfection. The favourites are in front. And speaking of favourites, she certainly is one in this part of the country. This season, Renee Slager's preferred defensive partnership has been Leah Williamson and Steph Catley. Cordina has taken her chances when she's been given them. Today, another example of that. So a goal that came from a set piece just moments ago, and Arsenal have themselves another corner. Okay, more direct this time, and it's nestling on the roof of the net. Emily Orman in goal, didn't look too concerned. Put it on by Aslani. For the boy, invited to step out of defence. Unfamiliar territory for Arsenal centre-back. Cooney Cross, architect of the opening goal. Forward able to turn away from Campbell, who got back just in the nick of time, but only at the expense of another Arsenal corner. High from Katie McCabe. Cordina the intended target again. And a lot easier to deal with. Grace Neville will take this throw in. She was actually scouted by Arsenal when she was just 10 years old. Spent a bit of time in the Gunners Academy before joining London City Lionesses ahead of their inaugural season. She is one of their longest serving players. Aslani. Back with the captain again. It's a great ball from her, and that is going to go down as a huge opportunity squandered. And Sophia Jakobsen had London City Lionesses' best chance of the game before this chance. That one perhaps even easier. Coming into the penalty area pretty much unmarked. Well, even if London City Lionesses do go into the interval a goal behind, I still think they'll have lots of hope. They can turn this tie on its head. They've had the opportunities. Each time just fallen victim to poor finishing. Gaudenti. Head down, on the move. Imran. Reeds taking a chance. Kumagai. Godinho was behind that one, although you could see from the shape of the pass the intended targets. Given away by Rousseau. Grace Neville's got some space to exploit on that right-hand side, although Rousseau's covering was good. Orman, very nearly getting caught out. She was closed down quickly by Gaudenti. And gone back unfairly by Caitlin Ford. Brewer. Ford facing up Campbell. Nice crossing, looking for Rousseau. It's another example, though, of how London City Lionesses are making this as difficult as possible for Arsenal when they do get into that final third. That final pass from the Gunners needs to be right on the money. Morning. Caldenti. Just over forward's heads. He does win it back. Morning was stretching for that one. She was very quickly tackled by Georgia Brewer. Arsenal's press has worked. Oh, Rousseau just unable to take it on the turn. Perhaps played just to the wrong side of her by Frida Mornem. Cooney Cross sees the space, wanted to burst into it, but does win the free kick. Nice swung it. Three minutes to be added at the end of this first half, and it's Caldenti in possession. Also was well marshalled there by Imran, who does get the benefit of the doubt from Abigail Byrne. Nice swung it. One back by Codina. Cross will be beaten to it by Aslani, who had the vision to thread one through for Izzy Goodwin too. Arsenal have recovered well to get numbers back behind the ball. Jakobsen. Cut out by Reeds. Jakobsen. Gets the better of Reeds. The ball had gone out of play. Well, so far, so good for Arsenal, who do head into the interval with a one-goal cushion. However, London City Lionesses certainly would have seen enough from that first half performance to believe that they have the quality and the ability to turn this game on its head. At half-time here, it is Arsenal 1, London City Lionesses 0. Let's take a look at some of the key moments from that first half. This was the first time that Arsenal really troubled the London City Lionesses penalty area. And look at this heroic defending by Taya Goldie, throwing herself in front of the ball. Alessia Russo then threatened here. Good stop in the end from Emily Orman. And Sophia Jakobsen had a really good chance there to put her side ahead before Megan Campbell was required to do some last-ditch defending of her own. But this is the moment that has made the difference so far. Laia Codina scoring her second goal of the season with an excellent looping header. It seemed to bamboozle everyone inside the penalty area. The Lionesses did have one final opportunity to get one back in that first half. Again, it fell to Sophia Jakobsen, who will have been disappointed to see another effort fly wide of the goal. We'll, of course, be back for the full second half here at Meadow Park. But for now, half-time, it's Arsenal 1, London City Lionesses 0. Welcome back to Meadow Park. If you are just joining us, then currently the score is Arsenal leading by a goal to nil going into the second half. Laia Codina, her header was enough to give the Gunners a one-goal advantage. They have, however, made one change at the break. And it's the debutant, Jenna Naiswanger, who is making way for someone who is far more experienced in English football in Leah Velti. She's actually scored more goals in this competition than she has in any other for Arsenal, although naturally, as a holding midfielder, that is only 2 goals. Both of her previous strikes coming in the 4th round, back in 2020, and then, of course, last season against Watford. London City Lionesses respond by making a change of their own. It will be like for like. Isabel Goodwin leaving the field to be replaced by Chantal Boyer-Lorca, who was the hat-trick hero in their previous rounds against Fulham. Back underway then. The spots in the quarter-finals up for grabs. The winner of this afternoon's FA Cup 5th round tie. And immediately, Frida Mornings in behind. And it required a big save by Emily Orman. Oh, how about that for a lightning start? Straight out of the blocks, the Gunners were. And Orman made herself big. Was able to do enough there to block the Norwegians' effort. Cooney cross. Swings in another one. Boy Lorca with the clearance. Tlani feels she should have had a free kick awarded her way. And still feeling the effects of that challenge. Well, she did miss London City Lionesses win at Portsmouth last time out. Good to see her back on the pitch, of course, this afternoon, but hopefully that won't bring a premature end to her afternoon. Belty. Caldenti in plenty of space. Okay, picks out Cooney cross. Shot down by Jakobsen. Cooney cross really starting to pull the strings. Here's Caldenti. Okay, fancies to run herself and needed to be shut down by Kumagai. Came a long way across there to cover the two teammates that McCabe had beaten in that single move. Rousseau. What Taya Goldie has been almost flawless this afternoon so far. Wondering whether Arsenal are perhaps regretting putting that clause in her contract that she could play against the Gunners if they were to meet in cup competition. I suppose it's all good experience, isn't it, for a young player to have, testing herself against the very best that the WSL has to offer. Forward. Neville gets there ahead of McCabe. Gaudenti. Okay, spotted the run of Russo. Cooney cross, edge to shoot! Well saved again by Emily Orman. And we know exactly what Kyra Cooney-Cross is capable of. And this is well within range for the Australian. Took a while for her to score her first Arsenal goal. But she managed to do so in the League Cup quarter-final win over Brighton. Some hit that was too. Also seen a couple of efforts off the crossbar from her. McCabe's ball. Again by Russo. Forwards tried to keep things alive, but it will be blocked out and behind by Georgia Bruin for another Arsenal corner. Short they go again. This time Cooney-Cross tries her luck going the most direct route to goal. Although took that one out of play. Russo. And there's Gaudenti. Managed to shoot, Morton will, and that one is blocked once more behind. Another Arsenal corner in front of the North Bank. This time from the left-hand side, and again the usual suspects stood over this one. Cooney-Cross, dropped by Orman, and she got there at the second attempt. Jakobsen didn't hold her run. So time then for another London City Lionesses change. Maddie Wild coming on. In place of Grace Neville. Maddie Wild, formerly of Bristol City, initially joined London City Lionesses on loan before a 2-year deal in the summer. She actually helps the Pride win 1-0 at her hometown club 2 weeks ago. Of course, that is the same hometown club that Arsenal beat by 5 goals to 0 to set up this afternoon's tie. I think you'll see a more obvious shirt tug, but advantage has been played. Clever reverse ball by Lionesses. Left by McCabe. First test for Maddie Wild, and it's one that she passes. Caudenzi. Away by Brewer. Ford spotted a gap. Rousseau. Kumagai went sliding in, using all of her experience to be in the right place there and snuff out the danger. Aslani. Rode up. Wild invited forwards. Kumagai finds Boy Halorka. Just didn't quite sit for the striker. Caudenzi keeps it in play, up against Goldie. The reason there was a loud cheer inside Meadow Park was the Arsenal fans hearing that Everton have gone a goal up at Chelsea. Just 18 minutes into that game. Forwards. Elsewhere, City have just got a third against Leicester City, and Portsmouth are 2 goals down at home to Sunderland. Boy Halorka. Ford gives chase. Campbell gets the benefit of the doubt right in front of the assistant referee there. She's got a long throw too. Boy, Lorca's done well. Aslani was slow to join that attack there. As ever though, with a head injury, you can never be too careful. And the collision involved Laia Codina, Arsenal's goal scorer, who did collide with Boya Lorca. So just while the Arsenal physios go through their concussion protocol, Codina's teammates and the London City Lionesses as well will take this as an opportunity to receive a few more tactical instructions from their respective coaches in the dugouts. I think Jocelyn Breshaw will still be encouraged. His side are very much in this tie. No reason for him to change anything drastically just yet. Renee Slagers, well, she does have some more options off the bench if she does require them. I imagine the conversation is just about keeping standards and concentration high. Codina has been given the all clear to carry on, that is, not just to return to the pitch just yet. The London City Lionesses, rather frustratingly, I'm sure, now have the ball all the way back inside their own half from a very promising position that they were in. She's a fierce competitor, Kosvari Aslani. Nearly 200 international caps for Sweden. It's good to see, even at 35, when some may argue it's twilight years, she still has the same fight that she did when she was breaking through. Reed gets the return from Mornham and plays it straight back to the Norwegian, who was shut down. Now McCabe. Progress halted by Julia Roda. Cooney cross. Winner of this round, of course, will go into Tuesday's FA Cup quarter-final draw, which will be streamed live on the Adobe Women's FA Cup YouTube page. Begins at 6:30. Ties for the final 8 will take place over the weekend of March the 9th. It remains to be seen what the final scores will be across the other games in the competitions, but I imagine Arsenal will be desperate to avoid Chelsea if they do indeed make it into the draw, as they have been knocked out of the competition in 7 of the last 10 years by the Blues. Given away to forwards. Rousseau, Mornan. Megan Campbell has responded very well to the challenge of Caitlin Ford and Alessia Rousseau too. Certainly connected with the clearance there, which found its way into the fans. There was a very quick apology though from the City Lionesses defender. Christina Blackstenius then onto the pitch, just as she did on Thursday, to play alongside Alessia Rousseau. Caitlin Ford makes way. Caudenti hooks it on. McCabe forced a bit too far wide. Taya Goldie. Ball was moving. Arsenal are denied the quick free kick. "20 minutes to play here at Meadow Park. Just one goal in it still." Cooney crosses delivery. Yes, flicked over the crossbar at the near post. It was a London City Lionesses player who got the final touch. It will be an Arsenal corner. So once Arsenal are set, and Katie McCabe is happy to deliver this one, she will send Kyra Cooney cross away. And it does come. Punched away by Orman. It's a lovely little nutmeg under pressure by Rafiat Imran. What a ball in behind that was. Stenius colliding though with Emily Warman and will get pulled back. For a second though, the space opened up for the Swede. And that is one thing that she will always offer, those runs in behind. That's a necessary sprinkling of chaos to the Arsenal attack. In a good way, of course. There is the game's first yellow cards. And after an accumulation of challenges, Kaspari Aslani finally is the first name into Abigail Byrne's book. Also again being held by Georgia Brewham and wasn't happy about it either. Needs to be careful, the England striker. I'm hoping that this game doesn't just turn into a flurry of cards in the last 15 minutes of a very stop-start nature. Cooney cross, another angle delivery looking for Blackstenius. I do wonder when Jocelyn Préchaud is going to perhaps instruct his side to be a bit more adventurous. Show some of the attacking play that we started to see about midway through the first half. Still very finely poised, this FA Cup fifth round tie. Jakobsen again had strayed into an offside position. Very calm under pressure there. Kumagai. For Imran. There's a bit of space here for Arsenal to exploit just in front of the London City back three, but once more, it's Georgia Brewham who's able to step in. Jakobsen. Trying to shrug off Katie Reeds. And misjudged that one entirely. Arsenal goal kick. So to freshen things up then. Charlene Mayon comes on in place of the captain, Asfari Aslani. Mayong, another acquisition in the summer from the French top flight. And another player in the London City Lionesses ranks with international experience as well. Played at the 2019 Women's World Cup for Cameroon. Here she is with the first few touches. Kumagai. Roda loses out to Cooney Cross, who was strong in the challenge. Campbell now wearing the captain's armband for the visitors. Arsenal will respond with a change of their own. It looks as though Emily Fox is going to be replacing Katie Reid at right back. A player who has been incredibly difficult for Arsenal. Well, Arsenal's wider squad, I should say, to dislodge this season. Undoubtedly one of their standout players. Actually made her Arsenal debut in this competition last season, 5-1 win over Watford. To wait until October in the win over Vålerenga for her very first goal in red and white. She's given it away there though. Jakobsen. Boya Lorca. No nonsense defending by Cooney Cross. Gaudenti. There goes Emily Fox. Off the bench, straight into the action, and Cross evaded everyone inside the penalty area. Always adds that bit of spark on the right-hand side, Emily Fox. Kumagai. And the City Lionesses happy to see a bit more of the ball, but only temporarily, as Frida Mornham can profit. And now Blackstenius. And that one may just wrap it up. Fortunate with how it came about, perhaps, but clinical when it mattered. Stina Blackstenius scores her 50th goal for Arsenal on just her 109th appearance for the club. Given away by Georgia Bruin. Sure, there could have been a shout for handball there against Frida Mornham, but when it popped up, there was never any doubts. But Stina Blackstenius was going to rack up that half-century of Arsenal goals. And 2-0 then to the Gunners, and you feel that that may just take things out of London City Lionesses' reach. They have battled so hard in this game. Defended well, they've shut down the spaces, they've been so solid on the edge of their own penalty area. But they will regret those 2 chances that they had in the first half. Even if they'd have taken one of them, it may have been a very different game. Still the best part of 10 minutes, though, to try to turn things around. Caldenti. Blackstenius. Caldenti got right underneath that one. Nice footwork there by Fox. There's the American again. Also continue to pull Brewer out of position. And will get the shot off eventually, but this time Saki Kumagai was covering in field. Fresh legs and perhaps some fresh ideas for London City Lionesses in this final 5 minutes or so. Julia Roda, the first to leave the field, to be replaced by Chinese international Sheng Mengyu. And also being substituted is Megan Campbell, making way for Lucy Fitzgerald. So taking off a centre-back implies you might be seeing a slight rejigging of the formation. Lucy Fitzgerald is a player who has been with London City Lionesses since day one, and is in fact the only remaining member of the squad to have played here the last time these sides met in the FA Cup 4th round 3 years ago. The City Lionesses then going for it, but perhaps that would be too little, too late for Jocelyn Preshaw's side. Going across. Rakuni Cross announced as the Arsenal Women's Supporters Club player of the match, setting up Arsenal's first. And it's been solid at the base of midfield as well. Morner driving towards goal. Ricochets off Brewham on the way out for another Arsenal corner. Another few crucial minutes in the return of Amanda Illestetz from maternity leave. Of course, saw her return from the birth of her daughter Mila during the 4th round win. She played the final 10 minutes here on that occasion. This time she's going to get probably around 5. But her first action will be to attack a corner. And she will certainly be one of the taller players inside that penalty area. The obvious target for Katie McCabe. Over the heads of Illestetz at that near post, kept alive by Ruben Moy. Godina towards Rousseau, whose header was a long way off target. I think after Thursday's results, Arsenal's mentality going into this one would have just been get through it, put in a measured performance, rotate the squad a bit and just make sure that there were no fresh injuries to the list of players who are unavailable today. Kim Little still recovering from a hand injury. Lena Hurtig missing today with a muscular problem. Chloe Kelly should make her second Arsenal debut on the weekend in the North London derby at the Emirates a week today before going into the international break. There was a positive update on Victoria Pelova, who we are expecting to see sooner rather than later this season. Maybe returning in time for the games after the international breaks. West Ham at home, Everton away, and Liverpool at home, sandwiched between 2 legs in the Women's Champions League quarter-finals against Real Madrid. Chance now for Caldente! Off the underside of the bar. Well, she's been in such good scoring form recently, 6 goals in her last 7. And that one denied by the woodwork. Fitzgerald, one of the City Lionesses, first ever Centurion. Jakobsen. Boy, Lorca caught a nasty one there. Abigail Byrne happy to play on. Godina. Over the top, looking for Jakobsen, who nearly got there ahead of Amanda Illestedt. In fact, did get there ahead of Amanda Illestedt. Free kick to London City Lionesses. And that challenge from one Swede on another. Amanda Illestedt's late cameo ends with a yellow card. A bit of work for Manu Zinsberger to do here, perhaps, who has been a relative bystander in this second half. Boy, Lorca certainly has the quality to trouble her. It's a case of Zinsberger trying to maintain her clean sheets. Boy, Lorca. Oh, it wasn't too far away. Always rising. Zinsberger will argue that she had it covered. No faulting the technique. Looked destined for that top corner. Arsenal reached the FA Cup quarter-finals for the first time in 3 years. They had to work for it too against the stubborn and resolute London City Lionesses side, who showed today that they certainly can mix it against WSL opposition. Lea Codina it was who got Arsenal off the mark on the half-hour mark, and then Stina Blackstenius made sure of the Gunners' progression to the final 8 of this competition. Full time here at Meadow Park is Arsenal 2, London City Lionesses 0. So let's take a look then at the best moments from that game. We started with this difficult ball inside the London City Lionesses box, and look at the heroic defending by Taya Goldie, who was superb throughout, the Arsenal loanee. Alessia Russo then stung the palms of Emily Orman between the sticks. Sophia Jakobsen came close with that effort there, and then Russo saw her shot charged down by 2 London City Lionesses defenders. But then this was the moment that Arsenal were able to break the deadlock. Hairakuni crosses swirling ball into the box was met by Lea Codina, who angled that header to perfection to give the Gunners the lead before half-time. There was still time, though, for London City Lionesses to threaten the Gunners' goal. And I've got the sense Sophia Jakobsen is going to be seeing that goal before she goes to sleep tonight. Cooney cross, then smashed in another attempt before Arsenal were ultimately rewarded for their patience and their pressure with a second goal. Stina Blackstenius off the bench onto the score sheet, racking up her 50th goal in Arsenal's red and white. It could have been better. Off the frame of the goal, relentless strike from Mariona Caldente. And then right at the end of the game, Chantal Boyer-Lorca very nearly finding the top corner to give London City Lionesses something to take back home with them. As it is, though, it is Arsenal who go into the hats for the next round of the draw, which will be made on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Stream live on the Adobe Women's FA Cup YouTube channel. Ties, of course, for that will take place on the weekend of March the 9th. And of course, you can, as ever, catch all of the action on this YouTube channel. So please do subscribe to make sure you don't miss a moment. Thank you very much for joining us today. Full time here at Meadow Park was Arsenal 2, London City Lionesses 0.